Welcome back to the Coach Dad podcast. I'm your host, Momma Rushhh. And every week, I sit down with Coach Dad himself to talk about what it really takes to raise champions in sports and in life. Today, we're diving into some of the toughest lessons parents can teach their kids. Lessons that separate the good from the great and the great from the elite. We'll talk about competitiveness, sacrifice, breaking bad habits, and what it means to own both your failures and your successes. Well, I'm excited to get right into this. I'm going to start with the first question. Coach Dad, you often say parents need to instill competitiveness, a willingness to sacrifice, and a drive for greatness. Why do those three things stand out to you as lessons that separate kids from the rest?
Okay, I'm going to date myself now. I'm going to sound really old. Get off my lawn, old.
He's like, get off my lawn, okay.
This generation of children and some adults, I don't want to get on millennials right now, but they didn't develop the competitiveness that we had, where we had, I'm going Miami now, we had rival, between areas and blocks, and we would meet up at the park and my block against your block in football or basketball or whatever it was. And we absolutely hated the other team. Now everybody's friends because of social media. Everybody wants, is more interested in taking a picture after the game and the fake jersey swap and all this craziness, when I didn't even want you to be on my field after the game in high school. So, competitiveness is not necessarily something that comes natural for them. It's just not the environment that we're in.
Right.
And so the want to compete, the want to not to lose, that when we're between these lines, whether it's football, basketball, track, I ain't your friend.
Right.
I'm competing against you. I'm trying to beat you. I'm trying to destroy you. And maybe we can be friends later. But between these lines, not happening. Competitiveness, absolute lesson. If you're going to be great in anything,
Right.
even in business, people sucker you into friendship at work, and all the while they're trying to beat you out for the promotion, and they're trying to do these different things. Just know that at some level, you got to be willing to compete.
But what about a willingness to sacrifice? Talk about that.
So, when I say a willingness to sacrifice for the greater good, if another guy has the ball, will he go set the pick in basketball? Will he go out there and train with another sprinter to say, "Hey, I need you to get, to get faster too if we're going to win as a team."
What that makes me think about is like, for a kid that is being considered by multiple colleges, what is a benefit to them to be willing to sacrifice for the greater good? In other words, if they're being looked at, if they're being measured,
Yeah.
why would they step outside of the limelight for the greater good? And I'm just like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because one of the things coaches are looking for is, can you be a good teammate? Because
Right.
think about, when you get to college, everybody's good, everybody's great. And can you be a teammate now? Can you sacrifice for the team? Because now we're trying to win as a team.
Right.
And so, although it's good, you want to get your numbers and all that stuff, that's great. That doesn't help us win. That helps you win. And I'm a firm believer in, don't raise your kid to be a GDI.
And what is a GDI, Coach
Gosh
Dad?
darn individual.
A gosh darn individual. Okay, you're keeping that PG. I gotcha. I'm just gonna say that feels like a T-shirt. I'm sorry. Now you got me T-shirt minded
Don't
here.
be a GDI.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't be a GDI.
shirt.
That is true though. And I feel like that's something we've taught our kids like from the beginning. So talk to me about aspirations for greatness.
Okay. Once your kid is once your athlete is good, if they want to go to the next level, they have to be willing to be great. And what that greatness is, how do I separate myself from the other good players? What about me moves the needle? What about me takes it to another place?
And
Do I want to be the best at what I'm doing? And that's moving from good to great.
and what type of attributes specifically is that? Is that just like in terms of character, in terms of grit? You've talked about grit before.
Mhm.
What is that in terms of?
That's bringing all those pieces together. It's not enough to just work hard. It's not enough to just do the extra drills. You got to be willing to be coachable. You got to be able to endure some pain. You got to be willing to go the extra mile even when you don't feel like it. That's what's going to separate you from the others. What you may lack in talent, you don't lack in effort,
Right.
because now you're willing to put in the extra effort. You're willing to do the dirty work or to sacrifice for the greater good. And that's the thing that's going to make you great.
And how does that translate to coaches and onlookers that are looking to recruit you for a program?
Well, absolutely. They're looking for greatness. And then that's a segue. They're looking for you to not just be great, but when you get to a college program, can you be elite?
Oh God, the leveling up never ends.
Now, what separates you from other great athletes and other great players in a college environment? Now, can you be elite? Can you be a one of one?
Hmm.
Can you be the guy? Can you transition from just being a guy to a dude?
Okay. I'm not an athlete, so I feel like I'm cheating you by sitting next to you here because
These are a lot of these are,
I'm not getting it.
these are a lot of names that we put on different athletes. Hey, he's a guy. No, but that's a dude. That guy right there is a one of one. He's the one that when the game's on the line, give it to the dude. Make sure he has it in his hand.
One of one.
One of one.
Me versus me.
Me versus.
I'm putting a little, secretly penciling a little list here. Okay. Um, okay. I think I got it.
Okay.
So one of the things that you're really big on is teaching kids to own both their failures as well as their successes. They can't just own their successes. They got to also own their failures. Why is that ownership so important? And how do parents strike the right balance between supporting their child and letting them face the consequences?
So this may be controversial, but many times in um, our society today, adults don't take culpability or don't have culpability or ownership when they've made a mistake.
Right.
And so as a result, it's everybody else's fault. So and so didn't block for me. So and so didn't do this for me. So and so didn't coach well. What did you do? What was your role within this?
What impression does that leave for you when a player or a person in life, does something and doesn't take responsibility? What is the impression of that?
Well, the first impression is that you're a GDI. You're an individual. You can't be good for the whole because it's all about you.
Got it.
And somehow um, you can't own your own failures, your own missteps, your own shortcomings.
Right.
There's no way for you to get better unless you can do that.
I have one. I have a one-liner.
Go ahead.
You can't fix what you don't own.
Yes.
Ah.
All right. Well, listen. Well,
Look at
that's
me.
a T-shirt within
There's a
itself.
t-shirt.
Yeah. You can't fix what you don't own. So I heard someone say one time, if you know why you failed, then you did it on purpose.
What?
If you know why you failed, you did it on purpose. Because if you know it's because you didn't work hard enough, or you know that you should have done this, then why didn't you do it?
Mm. That's a hard, like, I think about Generation Z and upcoming Gen Alpha. That's a very hard lesson as I think about this younger generation to stomach that. That
Absolutely.
feels very rough around the edges. That doesn't feel like a participation trophy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No participation trophies. If you know why you did it, why you failed, then you did it on purpose because you allowed it to happen.
Got it. Okay.
And now the only way to fix it is to fix it.
Right.
Let's get back at it. Let's own it and let's make it better.
Okay. All right. And the second part of that was how do parents strike the right balance between supporting their child and letting them face the consequences.
Well, a part of it is helping them to find that culpability and not allowing them to put it off on someone else. I know you love little Jimmy. I know you love little Michelle or whoever it is, but you need to have rather help them face their failures and own whatever their losses are and whatever their short steps were. Let them own it. And once they own it, then now how can I take the responsibility to fix it?
Right.
Not coaches, not parents. How can I,
As a student, I'm sorry,
as an athlete,
as the athlete.
begin to take the responsibility to fix it?
Right. It makes me think about something that I've told the kids
Mhm.
since they were little, which is there is a blessing in the midst of your shortcomings. In other
Mhm.
words, if you drop the ball, there's a blessing in that because that gives the onlookers, the people involved, the stakeholders, an opportunity to see what your character is made out of. People don't get to see what your character is made out of when everything's going great and you're hitting all the marks. When you drop the ball, they're looking at how you pick that ball up and how you run with it going forward.
Right.
So you talk about the difference between good, great, and elite. You just talked about that.
Yeah.
And how bad habits can keep kids stuck at one level. What are some of the habits you see most often holding athletes back, and how can parents help to break them?
So one of the myths that not just children but adults, that a bad habit we have is procrastination.
Yes, sir.
And procrastination is just another word for a lack of value. It's not important. It's not important enough to me.
Hmm.
Because if it were, then I would do what?
I would get it done.
I would get it done. And so my procrastination is just an outward statement that I don't feel like doing it.
Right. It's just not that important.
And whether that be with your grades, getting your homework done, um, another workout that you got to do, contacting, coaches, following up with a teacher. Don't procrastinate. When it's time, do it.
Right.
Make it happen immediately. Don't let time elapse because it's not important to you. Make it important. Next bad habit that I would say is just doing enough to get by.
Hmm.
Just good with being good.
Stagnant.
So I saw this exercise done one time. Reach as high as you can.
Okay.
Okay, those of you at home right now, reach as high as you can. Okay, now reach higher,
Reach higher.
a little higher. Okay, higher.
I can't.
Okay, you can't,
Right.
but you reached higher than you did the first time.
I did.
So I told you to reach as high as you can. Why didn't you do it the first time?
Oh my God, bro. That's true though. Like I literally was able to reach 3 more times.
Our minds are wired to do enough, just enough, not to go beyond.
Wow.
We have to change those habits of just doing enough to push ourselves to doing the best, the very most that we can. And that's the most you can today. But if you actually stood up, you could have reached higher.
I could have, yeah. Oh my God.
And so breaking those habits of not doing more than enough, just doing enough to get by, to be good with being good.
Okay, so you've said before that obedience is better than sacrifice and that
Yes.
kids need to let coaches coach. Can you explain what obedience really looks like in sports and why fundamentals matter more than just being on an all-star team?
I remember when I was playing at University of Florida, um, Coach Spurrier had a timing offense, and he would ask us to run a 12-yard comeback or a curl or whatever the route was. He gave you exact knowledge of what he needed it done, and many times players would cut it off short because they thought that they were open in the moment, or they thought that if I go a little further, maybe I'll be open, or whatever their thought process was. But what they didn't understand is that quarterback was taking a particular number of steps back, and he wasn't going to be ready to throw until he hit those steps. Whatever those prescribed numbers for you were arranged, so as soon as you put your foot in the ground, he can come up throwing.
Right.
If you cut that short, or if you go too long, what happens?
You miss the ball.
You miss the ball and he misses you.
Right.
And so the global lesson in that is you're not going to always understand.
Right.
But if you do what you're told, you'll get more out of it in return, because sometimes there's some lessons that won't come until later.
Got it.
And so even in life, God gives us instructions and you don't understand all the instructions. But if he said, walk through that door, you don't have to understand who's behind it. None of that. Walk through that stinking door.
Coach, that was powerful. So many lessons parents can take straight to the field and into everyday life. And to our listeners, thank you for spending time with us on the Coach Dad podcast. If today's conversation hit home for you, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment to let us know which lesson stood out most. You can also visit us anytime at podpage.com/coach-dad with 3Ds to catch past episodes and resources. Until next time, remember, dedication fuels you, discipline shapes you, and development carries you. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.